guys, it's Jem, also known as Quirks and Stitches. Third time's a charm, right? So it's Wednesday, January 22nd. I came home from work, all ready to film, and I laid in my bed, and I fell asleep. Oops. We got a new bed, and it's glorious. So apparently that means Jen takes naps. Who knew? So it is January 22nd. This weekend, January 24th through 26th, is the first 24 Hours of Cross Stitch Marathon for the year. And I realized I haven't really talked about it. So I wanted to come on tonight and talk a little bit about that, some housekeeping for anybody that's going to be participating, and just hopefully hype you up a little bit. There's been a lot of talk about it on our Facebook group. Also, I believe we posted the dates on our 24 Hours of Cross Stitch website. You can always check there if you're not on Facebook. I try to make sure everything gets mirrored. Brandon takes care of that. That is 24hoursofcrossstitch.wordpress.com. Maybe he'll have it scrolling across the screen. Maybe not. I don't know. He edits. I don't. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to show you what I've been stitching for January so far. And then I'm going to talk about what I'm going to be stitching for my marathon. So I'm going to kind of break the marathon talking up a little bit. So marathon weekend happening 24 through the 26th. I didn't even realize that it lined up on 24 as 24, me and numbers. So first marathon, we've eased up a little bit. It's been a learning process for us. Originally, when we did this, we gave everybody a 24-hour window. We realized not everybody is as crazy as we are and wants to stitch consecutively for 24 hours, so we didn't want to exclude anybody. So we were doing a 24 and 48 hour. You got 48 hours, 4 p.m. Friday, 4 p.m. Saturday. You stitch as much as you can, hopefully with the goal of 24 hours. I realized that was really hard too. People have, you get out of work at different times, different schedules, things like that. So now we're just kind of doing the whole weekend. So the 24th through the 26th, that's Friday through Sunday, stitch. That's basically it. If you can get 24 hours done, fantastic. If you can't, no big deal. If you can do more, go for it. The goal is just to encourage you to take some time, set some side apart from your busy schedule and stitch. And know that there are people all over the world that are joining in and stitching with you. Because it's just, this hobby can be it can be done in solitude, but one of the things I love about this hobby is the community. So I love that it's a time that that people around you are stitching as well. So marathon is happening. Make it what you want. Stitch consecutively. Take breaks and nap. Stitch for an hour. Stitch for 48. Whatever you want to do. It's really, really open-ended. And I know that's been a hard thing for people to wrap their heads around because I am like the queen of rules. And really don't want to hold anybody else to the rules that I put on myself. So be free to do it how you want to do it. We are going to be offering some giveaways to those of you that are participating this time. We wanted to kick it off and give back to everybody that has joined in. So once everything is over, I'm not going to announce what those giveaways are right now, but know that we're getting some stuff around. It will not be the 24 things like we did the second time or whatever we did, but we will have some things that we will be offering. We will likely do it the same way that we've done before, where I will announce a Google form for you to go on, tell us how you participated, and we'll pull winners from that. So be checking back after the marathon is over. In my recap video, I will make sure to post where you can go for that. I am planning to film my whole marathon again. And I think Brandon's joining in this time, so I think he's going to be filming his whole marathon. Probably not together because I have a system and a ritual now associated with this, which involves watching 24, and I don't think he cares. But so once everything is said and done, we will announce what the giveaways are going to be. We have been in talks with a couple shops that we're hoping to highlight too, because we've been so astounded with the people that have been participating and just want to give back to you guys and just spread some stitching kindness. So be looking for information about that. Like I said, it will be announced after the marathon is done. So next week at some point, We will post a link to a Google form that you can tell us that you participated. It will not be, it's for anyone that participated for any amount of time. It's not based on length of stitching time or anything like that. It's just, we understand that your lives come first. We're just encouraging you to take some time away. So that is what is happening business side of 24 hours of cross stitch. I'm going to take a break talking marathons and we're going to backtrack through January. I have been working on my acrostic. You can see I've got my planner here. It's kind of a mess, which is not typical Jen, but I'm doing little sneak peek info into the behind the scenes of 24 hours of cross stitch planner. I am working on a digital release as well. I don't think it will be available this year just because it is so new to me that I want to be able to offer it the best it can be. And right now I'm still learning how, planners on the iPad and GoodNotes and all that kind of stuff works with linking and everything that's involved in that. So I'm really kind of pouring a lot of myself into that. So I'm playing with it kind of both ways. My plan is to kind of put my working copies digitally, and then once I get things finalized, put it on paper. But I went to put it on paper and realized I already had stuff in there and my plan changed. So I had to wait it all out. Really, it would probably be, I don't know. But that's what's happening with me and why I'm kind of all over the place with what I'm using. Yeah, so but I've got my acrostic. I am done all but one letter. And I don't know that I'm going to get that letter done. Oh, I got blurry. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so I have my stitching available next to me. I didn't pull everything out of project bags, so you're going to have to bear with me as I pull it in and out and put it away. Mostly because I was like, it's later than I intended starting filming, and then I was like, I don't want to be spending half an hour afterwards putting everything away. So I am going to go through my acrostic now and stop rambling about what I'm going to be talking about. Can you see Watson on her bed behind me right there? That's Watson. She's being very good and quiet. I probably just jinxed it. So the first thing for the acrostic this month was Ready, Set, X's with an exclamation point. So it's 11 letters. My first planned thing that I was doing was Cat on a Rug. And it's by Stitch In Needs. And this was my piece that I started to commemorate Pandemonium. So once she passed away in May of last year, so I started this piece, and the body of this cat is like exactly like my cat, like the little pooch on the belly and like everything. It's just very much Pandemonium's stature. So I felt like it was very appropriate. So I started this after she passed, and then my plan was 1,200 stitches on it. So guys, I gotta finish. Yeah, so I decided not to do the alphabet or anything, and I'm sorry, things are not ironed yet. I just haven't gotten there. My pictures will be fully ironed. So I gotta finish on her. I did a complete conversion and just did stuff that I had in my stash, and then I tried to make it just kind of pop with her. So like, for instance, on her cheek, she had two, they look like little stripes. My friend actually asked once if they were a highlighter. I was like, yeah, I highlighted my cat. So I added those. Some of the things couldn't make really true to form for her because she had a black nose, and then it didn't stand out against that. I stitched this on 36 count Mallow by Picture This Plus, and then I just charted her name and that she was alive from 2004 to 2019. So this is my Cat on a Rug piece. I stitched, it was 1,296 stitches, and it got me completely finished with it. So very excited to have that done. And I'm thinking I want to frame it like in a collage with a couple of her pictures. I don't know. I was talking about with my mom about that, but I'd love to have like some of her pictures in the frame with it. So we'll see. That was R. Can you tell that I don't usually have my project bags out? This is in my coffee project bag. How cute is it? It's just got the dots on the inside. Something came up on my time hop that I was organizing on my cross stitch last year at this time, and it was like, I have hundreds of Ziploc bags. Not anymore. So E was His Eyes on the Sparrow, heartstring sampler, E for I. You're going to see a ton of this piece this year because I really want to get it finished, and I think I'm insane for thinking that that's even feasible with where I am on it right now. But I'm really going to try. So I actually have poured some, one of the things I did for Christmas for my mom was on Saturdays we're taking time to sit and stitch together. So Saturday mornings, the plan is to alternate between her house and my house. Right now we've just been up in her space, but we just get some coffee. We do a comfort movie. Jenny, I owe you my list of comfort movies. I will get that to you. I know that you were asking. So far we've watched Con Air, Armageddon, Mission Impossible, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and I think there was one other one. So yeah, it's just been fun to sit and stitch and get some time with my mom dedicated to that. And so I'm only working on His Eyes on the Sparrow right now for that time, which has been giving me some like dedicated time to it, which is nice. I kind of did like rough guesstimating with stitch counts, and I think I need to get, if I really want this finished this year, at least like 7,000 stitches a month. We'll see. So I got the whole border done and it matched up, which was thrilling. So that is all in. And then I've gone pretty much down the side. So I have gotten over 4,700 stitches in on this so far this month. And like I said, I'm just really, really loving that dedicated time to making sure that it's being pulled out. And having that border match up was like, oh, yay, it's done. And have you seen Beth Twist's like new like teaser of the Lilas sampler, the companion piece? See, a reason why I definitely have to have this finished this year. I love it. I'm stitching it on 36 count buttercream, I think buttercream, by Lakeside Linens. It lives in this little like deer pink bag. Inside's like that. I don't usually show my project bags, but my mom did a lot with them last year, and I feel like I should. So that was E. Still trying to get as much done on it as I can. A was Amos Fig. We started this on October 31st with Danielle, and I'm doing a conversion with it. This lives in this cute little bag that Laura gave to me. Laura, I owe you things, and they're coming. Just don't do mail very well. Isn't it cool as bag? I love it. Amos Fig. This is on 40 count exemplar, I believe. And I'm doing a floss, I did a stash dive. I wanted it darker and more muted than what the pattern called for. I also have Tilly, so I have a piece of fabric the same, and I'll use the same colors to complement on Tilly. But you can see like this was in like something, and it's like a goldish, I don't remember, wood trail and something else. And then raven. I'm using a lot of raven with it. Wood trail. I have it right here so I can actually tell you. Garden gate. It's like, I feel like it's a garden, but I don't remember. So I put in a little over 1,200 stitches on that. I was doing Semi-Sane Stitchers, the Alphabet Soup series, since it lines up so well with my alphabet challenge for the 24. So I'm trying to do that. So I got some dedicated time into that. It helped that it was on the acrostic. Trying to be like double dipping with where I can with those sorts of things. D, I pulled out Cardinal Points by Long Dog. And this one I started, it was one of my high tea starts. I had all that floss, those of you that have watched, that my grandmother had left me. I had a cigar box full of like just old vintage floss from her, and I had started Death by Cross Stitch, but it wasn't going right. So I just kind of decided I was going to do a floss toss for this down the border because it's a very rainbow border. And so this is all of hers, and I've got the orange here, the red here, and the blue here is like the kind of top, middle, and like top flower, middle flower, bottom flower. And those are all variegated and the rest are all solids. So I'm doing a complete floss conversion for the border. If I have thread left, I'm going to do the border first because I definitely want those to all be the same. If I have thread left, it will probably go in here except for the cardinal, which I will get the called for red because none of her colors are red. And see how much I can get. But I really didn't want to pull this out. Like, it was one of those, like, I just don't want to work on it. I've only worked on it once. I'm just not feeling it's just not what I want to pull out. And I'm so glad that I did. I pulled it out this long weekend and I got all the way. So I have all the colors in now. So you can kind of see that that one's like more variegated. That's the other one that's variegated. And then down here, the order of the blues kind of got wonky because like normally I would like that one to be down here, but because I wanted the variegated spaced, I switched it. But yeah, and these two purples are this one and this one are very similar, or no, this one and there. I can't point on this and look, you know that. But I'm really happy with how it's going and pulling it out. The greens also, I just did, like I pulled all of the green thread I had in my stash, and just am like kind of doing a conversion with that as well. So it's definitely a different take on Cardinal Points, but I'm really, really liking it. And I'm so glad that I pulled it back out. I'm stitching it on 40 count Starflower. I think it's Starflower, by Lakeside. And you'll be seeing more of this one this year too, because I have some ambitious goals. Okay, I can tell that putting things back in the bags is not going to happen. This one lives in this bag. I love this fabric. Look at that fox and that hedgehog. Ah. Felt like a grandma bag. I don't know. Y was Springtime by New York Dreamer because of the Y in York. This is also, so Cat on the Rug was one of my alphabet challenges. So that was my C for my alphabet challenge. So that's done. And this was also my Y for my alphabet challenge. I started this from Madness 2018. And it's a very like kind of simply springtime thing. There's a whole series. And I was stitching it and I don't know why I stitched. I'm these like ambitious to stitch these things and then I'm like, this isn't really me, but I did get it finished. So I stitched on 36 count Country Mocha, and it was really the back stitching letters that I was like, what? This is not Screaming Jen. I mean, I think it's pretty cute, and I'm glad it's done, but I'll probably see if my mom wants it for her house. Because I just can't imagine this being hung up in my house. It's just not Jen. But I can knock it off of my list now. So, got it finished. That was why. And it lives in this little bunny bag. Little bunnies. It won't live in there very long because I'll iron it and put it in my box of shame and then someday finish it fully. Maybe. Maybe not. Then we got to S, which was Sally Spencer. And it was like ridiculous that I didn't finish Sally Spencer last year. It's in another bag. It has birds on it, so I felt like it was appropriate. I had very little left to do on this one, but it was like charting. So I got this one finished too. I had to rechart my name. I really should have ironed these things. I'm very sorry. I will have them ironed again and show them again. But I got it all finished and got my name charted, the date. I didn't end up putting the initials on. I know I said and I was going to, but I really kind of like the plainness of it, so decided not to. It's pretty whimsical and pretty full right now, so decided not to. I did change this color for the eye. It is it's Natural by Dinky Dyes because the buttermilk was just too blended into the fabric too much. I stitched this on 40 count Legacy by Picture This Plus. Everything else was by the pattern. I'm really glad it's done. Sooner begun, sooner done. I don't know why I waited so long to actually finish it, but I'm I think I only had like a little over almost 300 stitches left to do. But it's now finished, so that is yay. I pulled out Nevermore by Lilas Studio. It's an Edgar Allan Poe piece. It's in my letter, kind of whimsical bag. Edgar Allan Poe, so E for Edgar Allan Poe. I got like almost 1,500 stitches in on this one. So I got all the way over on this border. I'm going to need more of that color. I'm stitching this on 36 count Navy Bean by Lakeside Linens. I really like this piece. And it's just like you get in a rhythm with those Quakers, and I love stitching it. So that was E. H, no, not H, T was a new start for me. I started this was my December high tea start. It was Hibernation Day, or it is Hibernation Day. It was in this little cute little, look at those boxes. Hats, I love them. I started this December high tea, and decided, so like high tea, I know people keep asking me what it is. Caroline off the grid started high tea a few years ago. I joined in last year, and the intention last year was to do a new start the last Sunday of the month. A start that you had that you really were excited to start. I didn't start till March, so I wanted to, this year, I'm going to do high tea that way for January and February as well. And then August, because I think I skipped August, I'm going to have those. So I have a full year of high tea starts that were on the Sunday of the last month, or the last Sunday of the month. Other than that, and this year she's tweaked it a little bit. So instead of doing 12 new starts, it's 4. It's quarterly. It actually lines up really nicely with the little marathons that we do. So now it was January 1st. I think it's October 1st, July 1st, and I skipped months. So let's go in order. January, April, January, April, July, and October, I think. Don't quote me. Apparently the calendar jumps to October after January because those are the months that I like. So I started this for high tea, and I've gotten almost 1,700 stitches in on it since January started. I had a little bit done before January started. Stitching this on, I think it's 40 count, and I think it's Meadow Rue by Lakeside. If you haven't caught on by now, they're my favorite. I love it. I wasn't sure. The lighting down here is hard, but like you can see the snowflakes. There's a lot of white in the pattern, so I was a little nervous about it, but it really, in person, you can see it a lot better. So I have loved working on this piece so much. So I pulled that out for tea because of Beth Twist. Okay, so X is the letter that I'm not excited about, and it is the one letter of my acrostic that is not finished, because my plan was to work on Merry Xmas by Prairie Moon and get those stitches in, but my fabric has not cooperated, and I went to start it on Christmas and hated the fabric choice, so decided not to start it on that. So I pulled out this Joy X Noel to work on, and this is my oldest width. And I'm not doing the Joy X. It just has an X in it. I really was like struggling with what X to do. It's this. I haven't put any stitches on it yet. Will. Maybe. I don't know. So it's my X for right now, but not done. It's funny how like you start things and then you're just like, no, not feeling that. Not at all. My other really ambitious one that I really would like to get finished this year is a Peacock, a Unicorn, and a Badger. So again, you're going to be seeing a lot of this one. This was for S because it's by the Scarlet Letter. I have gotten probably close to 4. This is another one I feel like I need to get like 7,000 stitches a month in for me to feasibly like space it throughout the year. It calls to me a lot, so I usually don't have a problem pulling it out. It's just there's still a lot to go, and it's a lot of full coverage. So I have down that I've done 30, almost 3,200, but I stitched on this exclusively yesterday and did a whole lot of fill-in here, so I think I've gotten close to 4,000 so far. I love this piece so much. And I don't know why, because it's just not typical Jen. Sorry, this is showing things is not cooperating today at all. But you're going to see a lot of it. A lot. And then my other new start this year, which is my exclamation point, because it was my first start of the year. Oh, and this is in a bag. This was from Amelia, TNX Stitcher. Her mom has a shop on Etsy. These bags are incredible. She gave it to my mom, but I took it because it has a unicorn and a badger, and I decided it had to. She gave me a Star Wars one, so Brandon stole that from me. We share. I'm not an only child syndrome sufferer or anything. My other new start for this year, this was my official January high tea start, and it is Quaker Seasons of Friendship. Diana and Amy started this sal, and I decided I needed to because I am a sucker for big ass projects. And I've only worked on this on January 1st, but I'm excited to pull it back out. So I have that portion done in the top corner. It's almost 1,300 stitches. I'm loving watching what everybody else is doing with it. If you're interested in the pattern, it is an exclusive from Dying to Stitch in Virginia Beach. I think they still had some. They had some when I called in for it. So you might be able to snag your hands on it. I've loved working on it. Like I said, there's just something about the mindlessness of a Quaker and the repetitive patterns that I love. So that was my exclamation point because I was really excited to start it. So that's what I've been stitching so far. I did have one other finish this year, and that was, since 2019 was my year of the smalls, I am trying to finish up all of those mini things that I started last year. I'm not restarting 1,000 mini things this year until I get some of them finished or figure out how I'm finishing them. So I'm going to try to finish at least one a month. I finished Black Cat in a Santa Hat by the Stitcherhood. This is on 35 count mink by R&R and just with the called for DMC. And it's a scary little cat. He really is kind of creepy. It's kind of the spirit of mayhem who's just been evil lately. So that was my other finish. So I've had 4 finishes so far this year, which is helping my Stitch from Stash budget. And I'm, excited about that. So that's what I've been stitching. Now let's talk a little bit about my plans for 24 hours of cross stitch. So I was going back and forth about whether I wanted to do consecutive or if I wanted to just do it, space it out through the weekend. Thought is right now that we're going to do consecutive. So we're going to get up Saturday morning, probably not super early, actually sleep in or whatever, and then convene together and start by 10, maybe earlier than that, and try for a consecutive one to kick off the year. So that's what my mom and I are planning to do. I believe that I'm going to work my way through my alphabet. So I have my 24 hours of cross stitch ABC challenge. I don't know if it's filled out in this one or not. It is. May not all be the same. Things have changed, but some of them are there. So I'm going to work my way through the alphabet. So each hour, 45 minutes will be spent stitching on the set things. So A, Amos Fig. B, Bump in the Night. C, this is where I was getting a little hinky because C has already finished because it was Cat on a Rug. So I've decided that I'm going to pull out another C project and work on that. So I'm going to work on Crow's Lullaby because that's on my WIPGO board. It was one of the ones that got pulled this month and I haven't gotten very much done on it. So I'm going to pull that one out for C. D is Cardinal Points by Long Dog. E is His Eyes on the Sparrow. F, As the Crow Flies by Prairie Schooler. G, Gnomes in the Garden Row by Bent Creek. H, Hallowed Game Board. I have tweaked this a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to work my way through my alphabet challenge, and I'm going to finalize what my alphabet challenge really is. The alphabet challenge is, like I said, I showed you my paper copy of it. It is this. I'm challenging you to finish 12 or 24 projects throughout the year that are connected to letters of the alphabet. I've got a letter, something connected to every letter, and then I'm just going to see how many of them I can actually finish. So, like I said, this month I finished 3 of them. So I finished C, I finished Y for C was Cat on a Rug, Y was Springtime by New York Dreamer, and S was Sally Spencer. So, 3 done. And then, you know, we'll see what else I get done. I tried to mix mine up with like not crazy all big ones, but and then when I did my Whipco board, I tried to complement that with my big projects so that I know that they're still getting some time and you know, getting out a little bit, but you know, I don't know that any of these goals are actually feasible. Because, like, Cardinal Points is on my thing, plus his eyes on the Sparrow, plus Peacock, Unicorn, and Badger. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe. But you'll be able to see you'll be able to see my whole 24-hour ABC challenge after the marathon. So I am planning to do my typical filming format where I stitch during the episode of the show, 24, season 6, because this is the 6th marathon. And then I will do a recap at the end so you can see where I was. I will be posting on Instagram, and I'll be sharing into the Facebook group. We are excited to be able to stitch with you as you are gearing up for this year of 24. I hope that you are having fun planning and just enjoying all the things that stitching can bring. So keep making those X's, and I will be back this weekend. Bye, guys.